Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend we're together all alone.
Did you ever feel like pursuing music as your career?
I never felt I had enough talent to be pursuing music as a career.
Did it help you gain that peace in your life?
Absolutely, because music is a source of solace. You know, one of my favorite singers over the years has been Jim Reeves.
I am reminded of a time when in the Supreme Court you were talking about mental health issues.
There was a period of about 2.5 years in the aftermath of COVID when I was out of practice. All pushed me into clinical depression. Music was my solace. Music was the source of sustenance. It's music which has uplifted my soul. We must all say a big thank you to Deepika Padukone for making it normal to talk about mental health issues. Why don't you sing for us?
जिंदगी मुझे डर है ऐ मेरे चार अगर.
Mashallah.
Hello everyone, welcome to LiveLaw. I'm Advocate Nazarat Fatima, and I'm more than excited to share with you that LiveLaw has started a series where we bring people from the legal fraternity who not only talk about the legal profession but also talk about their interests and their hobbies and everything that they've done apart from their profession. Earlier we did a video with senior advocate Anjana Prakash, who has also been a judge in the Patna High Court and is presently in the Supreme Court, and interestingly is also an artist. The video is on our YouTube channel. Please go and check it out. And today we have with us Mr. Raju Ramachandran, a senior advocate in the Supreme Court, who interestingly has a practice of 49 years and was designated at the age of 42. He was appointed the Additional Solicitor General from years 2002 to 2004 and has been appointed as a Micus Curiae by the Supreme Court to defend Ajmal Kasab, and has been a part of very important cases including the Gujarat riots case and the Sabrimala case. Apart from that, he has also written both for scholarly journals and the popular press. And a collection of his articles was published by the name I Have Been Around for Some Time in 2016. So, despite having so many achievements to talk about, the main highlight of today's video is that we're going to talk about his interest in music. So, sir, I'd request you to take this forward from here.
Thank you, LiveLaw. Thank you, Nazarat. And since there's no hierarchy in this conversation, you can skip the sir.
I'll try, sir.
Yes. You want me to talk about my journey in music. Let me start from my childhood. Growing up in a Tamil home, music was very much part of the household. The house may have lacked some kinds of material possessions, but a typical Tamil household always had musical instruments, and members of the family were trained in music. My family was no exception. My father played the flute, my mother played the veena, and so an exposure to Carnatic classical music has been part of my childhood. In addition, both my parents and aunts and uncles were fond of Western music in the sense of pop, folk, and country, and they were fond of Hindi film music. And so, different strains and streams of music have been part of my growing up years. And I was formally trained in music from the age of 5 till the age of 13. First in vocal music and then on the violin. I learned to play the violin. And therefore, I've had formal musical training for a period of 8 years. And therefore, it has been a part of me throughout my life.
So, since you started learning music from quite an early age, so why didn't you not choose music as your profession and you went into the legal field Did you ever feel like pursuing music as your career?
I never felt I had enough talent to be pursuing music as a career. I think of myself only as a bathroom singer who has come out of the closet. But let me also tell you that having faced the music from the judges for 49 years, now I think after 50 years, I now feel they should hear my music.
Okay. So, do you feel like, if at all you actually had thought of pursuing music, do you think you would have had a better career in music than in law?
I don't think so at all, because you are crediting me with much more talent than I have. I don't think I was ever cut out for a musical career. It's a different thing to be doing amateur singing, to be part of the Supreme Court Christmas choir, to be singing on Smule and sharing with friends, to be forming music groups with friends, but never as a career. But there's one little ambition which I hope I can fulfill in the next few years as I slow down in my practice, which is to acquire greater theoretical understanding of music. I aspire to do a BA and an MA, if possible, in music, just to learn the theory.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So, being a lawyer, it must have been really difficult, as it is for all of us. So, do you feel like music played an important role or any sort of an impact it had on your practice? Did it help you gain that peace in your life where you felt like, the other side of the story did not weigh heavy on you? Do you feel like it somehow was of help, in you pursuing your profession as a lawyer?
Absolutely, because music is a source of solace, it's a source of joy, it imparts lightness when it needs to, it brings gravitas when it needs to, and so in different dimensions of not just professional life but personal life, music has been a constant companion, in the sense that I've been listening to music always.
So you talked about peace that music has offered. Would you like to connect it to spirituality, or do you think there's a spiritual element that gave you peace? Or was it just technical, or did it actually have something to do with spirituality which you catered to during your journey in music?
It definitely has a dimension of spirituality without your being consciously spiritual, because it uplifts the soul. And when your soul is uplifted, you feel a certain closeness to the infinite. And therefore, music is spiritual, and music is a path to God in the abstract sense.
So, keeping that side apart, now music has changed. There are different genres. Now people have started singing different forms. So, do you feel like music is losing that element of piousness, or we like to attribute certain things to music, certain feelings to it? Do you feel like the music that's coming in these days is a little different from the one that it used to be, or do you feel like the evolution is okay?
Music can never remain static. It has to evolve over the years. And so I'm not one of those old timers, those oldies who think the music of the past was something of a different order and today's music is bad or lowbrow. No, each generation evolves, and each generation has its own music for dancing, for spirituality, for meditation, for contemplation. And so there is no universal standard by which you judge the quality of music. and there's no question of frowning upon or disapproving a particular form of music.
Speaking of which, sir, what kind of music or what genre do you specifically like?
You know, I anticipated your question. And so I made a list on my phone. Carnatic, Hindustani, in terms of classical, even Western classical, though I have a basic understanding of heavy classical, but a greater understanding of lighter classical Western music like waltzes and polkas. Then folk music, country music, pop, calypso, soca, chutney, baila, which is the dance music of Sri Lanka, and what is currently catching my attention, something on which I'm spending a lot of time, is Anglo-Indian railway music of Australia. Many members of the Anglo-Indian community migrated from India to Australia. Some went to England. And the Anglo-Indians in India mainly served in the railways, post and telegraphs, and customs. So this has become part of the folk music of Australia. So there are songs like We Are the Railway Children, The Streets of Asansol. So currently, this is my obsession.
You have quite a versatile taste in music. It seems like you can actually jump from Lata Mangeshkar to the Beatles all of a sudden. And it's quite interesting to see that somebody from the Supreme Court who is a senior lawyer and has done so many things. There are so many achievements to talk about. But the best part is that we can actually talk about music of all kinds. And that's something that I don't think we find in many people. And I'm really excited and glad that we are having this conversation. So, sir, presently, you said you have, you talked about your interest and you talked about the genres of music that you're interested in. So what exactly do you like singing the most? Because, we always pick that one genre which we like to sing. So which would it be?
The kind of music which I like to sing is broadly Western. When I say Western, I don't mean it in any classical sense. So pop, folk, country, and calypso. These are the genres which I like to sing. But I must also tell you that I have started training again in Carnatic music. And it's 1 year to this day. I started on Ramanavami last year. So I have this young teacher who is not at all impressed by the fact that I have 8 years of training in Carnatic music under my belt. He has started me from where I started at the age of 5. I have one class every week, and between last year and now, from where I started at the age of 5, today I have only reached the age of 7 in my Carnatic music teacher's eyes.
So how does it feel though? Going back to 5 years old, how does it feel?
It brings me down to terra firma. I may get a lot of appreciation from young lawyers who appreciate my music more out of respect and more out of surprise than anything else. But when someone who is technically skilled tells you that this is where you belong, then you get a sense of perspective about yourself and it doesn't go to your head.
So I think you're trying to be humble. As much as you've surprised me, I'm sure the audience is also surprised, considering the versatility, considering how much you're into music and the number of genres you actually remember, which is quite difficult for the most of us. I'm sure most of the people would want to hear you sing a song. Would you like to start something right now? Would you like to sing a song? I mean, of course you would, but which one would it be?
Why not? Okay. One of my favorite singers over the years has been Jim Reeves, because I loved his rich baritone and I loved the melody in his music. So I could attempt a song by him. So shall I start?
We've loved that, sir.
This song by Jim Reeves belongs to the genre of country music. It can also be called pop. It's called He'll Have to Go. This is about a man finding that the woman he is in love with is with another man. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go. Whisper to me, tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do? Though love is blind, make up your mind, I've got to know. Should I hang up or will you tell him he'll have to go? You can't say the words I want to hear while you're with another man. Do you want me? Answer yes or no. Darling, I will understand. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low. And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
This makes me so happy, sir. This is actually something that can make anyone happy anytime. So does your family listen to you very fondly? I'm sure they do, but do you have like those moments when you're sitting with your family and you're singing out loud and they listen? I'm sure there must be, but I would still want to know a little more about it.
Nazarat, I've started singing out loud recently, by which time my children had grown up and flown the nest.
Okay.
And so they have a chance to hear me only when they come home on vacation.
Oh.
As I told you, I've been a bathroom singer. I've been more of a listener. The first time I came on stage was in December 2024, when some young lawyers who found that I sang a bit asked me to be part of the Christmas choir.
Okay.
First time in the sense that before that I was only on the school stage in primary school. And at the age of 7, I was part of a group of children singing devotional songs in an auditorium in Chennai, 20 children. And I was given a prize also, though I was only doing lip syncing.
Okay.
So my singing out loud is something very recent.
New.
So to come back to your question, yes, my family has started hearing me, my children-in-law, and my grandchildren. And I've been asking my grandchildren also to sing with me. But my son, he is a stern critic when it comes to my singing because he finds that I don't have a sense of timing. He always thinks I'm going a little too fast, and this has been my problem since my childhood.
So
I
something we
start
share in
racing
common.
through songs. I don't have a sense of tal. And my Carnatic music teacher also keeps correcting me about this, that
So
I'm out of tal.
Interestingly, I also somehow could never get this rhythm correct.
Yeah.
I could never do it. You know, the concept of metronome,
Yeah.
rhythm and everything. The moment I start singing and people tell me you're out of time, you're not singing in time.
Yeah,
So
they
this
get
is
so
something.
frustrated, yeah. But
It's good to see that somebody else also has this.
yeah, that makes two of us. I'm also feeling better.
And also, sir, I think I cannot call you a bathroom singer anymore after I've listened to your song. It's so beautiful. But sadly, I am reminded of a time when in the Supreme Court you were talking about mental health issues and how music was able to help you come out of it and how it laid a really deep impact. I was looking forward to having a conversation around that. I would really like you to elaborate upon it a little.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Though that is not the main subject of the interview, but it's important for me to talk about this because there'll be many young lawyers watching this interview. There was a period of about 2.5 years in the aftermath of COVID when I was out of practice because my late wife's critical illness, my mother's passing during the Delta phase
Okay.
of COVID, and my inability to cope with new technology in terms of virtual hearings, all pushed me into clinical depression.
Oh.
And so I had to get myself treated. And then I came back to practice after a gap of about 2.5 years. During this period, music was my solace. Music was the source of sustenance. And after I came back, it's music which has uplifted my soul. And so, one message to young lawyers is make music a part of your life. But the other message for young lawyers is if you have issues, if you feel a sense of depression, don't hesitate to talk about it. Don't hesitate to take help. We must all say a big thank you to Deepika Padukone
Definitely.
for making it normal to talk about mental health issues as you would talk either about acne or about arthritis or rheumatism. And so, please don't hesitate to seek help. If I could come out of it, I didn't think I would ever be able to understand a brief, let alone stand up and argue. But I came out of it. I have argued before constitution benches after that. And so you can come out of it. Don't feel shy of seeking help.
So thank you so much for bringing this up and talking about it so openly, because I think it's stigmatized to an extent that people are afraid to talk about these things, be it men or women. This is something which has nothing to do with the gender. In fact, males would be so scared talking about this because they might look weak. And in the same way, women might face problems in the future getting like good proposals for marriage or something like that, because it's a disease that people don't see as a disease that can be treated. Once you are diagnosed with depression, people might as well take you like a disabled person for the rest of your
That's
life.
right.
So I'm so happy that someone of your stature is able to talk about it, and I'm sure this must be very inspiring for the rest of the fraternity, especially the young lawyers who in litigation are facing a lot of troubles, thousands of issues that I don't think I can talk about and I can summarize in a brief span. They're facing so much, and I've seen so many people facing depression and calling it anxiety, calling it stress, calling it by alternatives. And it makes me happy that somebody who is from the elder generation is able to talk about it, and more importantly, acknowledge that something like this exists. Because as much as I remember, for somebody who is about the age of 40, they might not even acknowledge it. They might say, oh, just meditate. or just sit and think about it. Just get that willpower. That's something I've heard about a lot. Get the willpower in you. So, sir, I'm really, really happy that you talked about this. It's like Deepika Padukone for the film industry, and
yes, I was
the young
inspired by her
souls,
to talk about it here.
and maybe you for the legal fraternity. So thank you so much for that.
I'm nowhere in my profession where Deepika is in hers, but I'm glad that as a senior lawyer,
So I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that. And I think like she has been for her industry, you are for us. Because this is the first time I have heard somebody talk about it so openly, especially sharing his own story. So that really matters to us as young lawyers the most. What would you like to tell our viewers, especially the young lawyers, about how to pull these things off together? You know, it's very difficult for somebody in litigation to actually cater to their hobbies and interests. It's not an easy job because litigation, you know, expects long hours of work, especially when you're young. So I think someone should be there to motivate the younger lawyers to keep it going, because I don't think the hobbies should die. I don't think the passion should die. So what would you like to tell people about it?
Nazarat, you've asked me a very interesting but also a difficult question. So I'm not going to pontificate and just say you must maintain work-life balance throughout. I know that in the early years, you have to give of yourself fully to the profession. But yes, even at that time, physical fitness matters. Don't neglect that. Mental health matters. Peace of mind matters. And therefore, if the pursuit of hobbies brings you peace of mind, please find time for that. I know it is difficult, but it can be done. Strive to do it. Stay connected with your passions and loves. And a time will come when you can revive those passions to the same degree of intensity with which you had pursued them earlier. Before you became a lawyer.
Okay. That's a wonderful advice, sir. Definitely, people should take that. I mean, that there's not a choice. People should take that advice. And sir, again, we've gone to the sad side of it. Would you like to sing a Hindi song? Because I think there has been a lot of English, and I'm sure the viewers might want to listen to something Hindi.
Nazarat, my problem is when I sing in Hindi, I am told I have a Thanjavur accent. When I speak in, when I sing in Tamil, I'm told I have a Noida accent. So my singing in Hindi or Tamil is only for the bathroom. Why don't you sing for us?
Yes, I don't sing publicly, and also I've never sung on camera. I'll give it a shot.
Yes,
I'll
please
try
do.
to. So there's this ghazal by Begum Akhtar, who is one of my favorites, which was also recreated by Ali Sethi later. I'll not be able to sing the entire thing, but I'll try to restrict it to two lines that are my favorite. मेरे दागे दिल से है रोशनी, इसी रोशनी से है जिंदगी, मुझे डर है ऐ मेरे चार अगर ये चिराग तू ही बुझा न दे, मेरे हम नफस, मेरे हम नवा, मुझे दोस्त बन के दगा न दे.
Mashallah.
Thank you so much, sir. It's not something I've done ever before, and I'm glad I was able to do it for the first time. This is my first time officially in front of so many people. Thank you so much for making me do it, because it actually takes a lot of courage for people like me who don't sing openly. I would have loved pursuing music if at all I had the chance to. However, I'm really glad and I feel really happy about the fact that I have mustered the courage to do this.
Well done, Nazarat.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you on behalf of all the viewers.
I'm really glad, sir. And we got to speak about so many things that are usually not talked about. We talked about, of course, your interest in music, which again is very surprising because we are speaking with a senior advocate and we're talking about music all the time. That, of course, is quite an alien element that we don't get to see a lot. We talked about mental health, and you were so open about it. And there was an inspiring message for the young lawyers, young and old lawyers, of course, everybody. And you sang. It has been such a wonderful session with you. And I wish we get to be around people who are like you, or at least something like that, if not the totality of it, at least something like that. We're lucky to have people like you around us.
Thank you, Nazarat. Thank you, LiveLaw. I'm honored to have been invited to this conversation.
So we are more than honored because this is not conventional at all. This is something we'd want. It was wonderful having somebody with us who is a senior advocate, but of course did not make us feel like he belonged to the conventional sector. We talked about music, we talked about fun, and this has been such a fun time. We look forward to inviting more and more people like that. Of course, not saying that people can match your vibe, but definitely they must try. We'll be back with another episode, and thanking you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Again, we are lucky, and the viewers are lucky, and we wish to bring more and more people like that, more and more interesting people, to be specific, at least on this series. And please watch the video, share with your friends, and please tell your friends that they should talk about mental health and they should talk about their hobbies and keep their passion intact for things that are not talked about. Please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and also follow our page on Instagram.